I could start with just like physically, how did you feel throughout the season from A to Z? How did it go for you that way?
It was started a little rocky with a couple things going on, but as the season progressed, I got better and better, and by playoff time, I was back and feeling good. And I mean, everybody has little things here and there the longer you play, but nothing too pressing. So was excited about getting out the season that way.
You're obviously no longer a 35 to 38-minute guy, but what do you think is like an optimal usage for you now going forward as a commitment next year?
Yeah, I think we found something really good kind of in the back half of the season where it was 20, it could be 24, 25, whatever. It could be 17. Like it didn't matter. But that range, the body felt real good, recovering and doing the things I needed to do to get ready for the next night.
Do you see your role changing or evolving in any way going into next year?
Sure. I think my role is one that I've been willing to do anything. Just play any amount of minutes, start, come off the bench, like whatever you want me to do, I'll do, and whatever's best for the team. So I can imagine if it does, it will. If it needs to, it will. I mean, and whatever's best for our team.
Throughout the whole season, a lot of guys were talking about how bad they wanted to do this for you. Just what did this group of guys mean to you this season?
They're special, man. They're young, they're fun. They enjoy the game. They enjoy the journey. They work hard. All the things that you want to go to fight for. So, I think they still don't grasp like the finality of it all. Sometimes, like when stuff happens and the gravity of what just happened, and that's okay. They're young. They'll get to that point, but they're just a joy to be around, and I'm just happy to have them as my teammates, and hopefully we keep as many of them as we can, and we keep this thing going.
Mike, looking big picture, I think after Game 4 you talked about some of the non-negotiables, and after Game 5 you talked about basketball IQ. Like, what is the next step in this team in like improving its level of detail on a night-to-night basis?
I think it's for individuals, it has to become even more important to them. Maybe that means studying the game more. Maybe it means doing more individual taking coaches on the side and getting some individual stuff there, or bringing me aside every now and then, and even more often, and just using the minds around you to help you grasp certain concepts and certain things about the game. Because the game's different than when I came up starting to play, and it maybe even be taught different at a younger age, or however they go through the circuits and through college. So what I know is a lot different than what they know, and you got to try to bring them up to a certain standard or a certain level where the non-negotiables are things you just do by habit, and not something that we have to ask or show on film 1,000 times. So it'll be on us as a team to try to figure that out.
Mike, obviously Oklahoma City is a really tough team, but what do you feel like didn't translate for you guys? With the way you finished the season, the first two playoff series, you guys were playing with such momentum. What didn't translate from those into this series?
I think we ran up on a team that, from top to bottom physically, they were, one of the more physical teams we've run up on. Defensively, they were airtight. They did everything, that they needed to do and accomplish in their game plans, and they just did it, everything more consistent, than we were. We had spurts, we had moments, but they seemed to always, never waver, stay at the same level of play, regardless of shots making or not making or whatever the situation was for that particular game. So, they're good, man. They're really good. They're hungry. They're young, and they're moving on.
Mike, what did you see from Dillingham this year, and what kind of strides does he need to make to become a regular rotation guy?
Rob has grown a lot. Obviously he didn't get the opportunities to be on the court to show what exactly he's been able to improve on. But, from my perspective, he's been in the weight room a lot. He's been trying to get his body to a certain level, using this opportunity to get bigger and stronger. And we talk about it at length throughout the season, just how much the season will take a toll on your body and how you have to try to keep that in order, and how to help you become a defender, and how to help you to take bumps and move forward with it. And I think he's really taken that to heart. So, he's excited to, get to an off season where he can really, really, lock in and be ready to go to help this team next season.
When you think about what you guys were able to accomplish and maybe the disappointment of this last series, is there an emotion that wins out for you?
It was a tough year. It really was. It was, like I said last night, I think it's our resiliency through a lot of the ups and downs was probably the most, the thing that stuck out the most, because it was not easy. It wasn't easy to start the way we did, to make trades and to do all that stuff, and be looked at like we weren't going to be much anything throughout the season, and to fight through that and kind of stay together and not worry about it, and choose to figure it out and not let it overcome us. And that's what was special about the unit, and what's special about being here. So I was just thankful that we found it, at least to a point, to the end of the season.
How much sleep did you get? And are you the first one on deck today because you volunteered, or because they knew you would do it?
I didn't sleep much, but no, I volunteered to go first. It's just I knew I wouldn't be asleep. I'd probably be up doing something, and I got to see my kids this morning, so before they got off to school and stuff. So that was my first thing, and then might as well come in and knock it out.
Mike, kind of on that note, like you talked about how some of the young kids don't fully grasp the finality of the season and kind of the future of where things are headed. Like, is that a perspective you'll share, or do they have to kind of learn that on their own as they progress?
I've shared it a lot. But it is something that has to be learned through their, as they get older, as they age, and in this game, however many years they're lucky enough to play. For me, it's been half my life, so it's a long time, and it never gets easier. I was just talking about it walking in here, how yesterday I'm thinking about today, like how I'm gonna get an IV, I'm gonna get ready, get my body ready for game 6, and now it's like what am I gonna do today? I have no idea. So it's just that finality of it is hard, and then you look at the side of teammates and guys who are under contract who are not. This team may never be the same complete team that we had yesterday. So that's frustrating, because you're losing guys that you went to battle with, and so it's just a lot to wrap your mind around. And I think it just takes time to realize how quick things can change, and how you got to kind of seize every opportunity you can get.